Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Horror Heathen YouTube channel and the South Jersey Horror Podcast. Today, I'm sitting down with a very special guest, Matt Keeslar. Is it Keeslar or Keeslar? God, Matt Keeslar. I'm messing names up already. Who stars in one of my favorite Stephen King movies of all time, Rose Red, which premiered in 2002. Very exciting movie. I love this movie. Um, Even though this movie premiered back in 2002, its power has not faded. While not a conventional haunted house tale, its genius lies in a grounded realism that makes the terror feel palpable. It's honestly a tragedy that this miniseries is so often overlooked, and it sucks. This movie is much, much unappreciated and very, very underrated because it remains brilliant, and it's a great piece of horror that deserves a permanent place in the horror community. So again, I had the pleasure and the honor to sit down with Matt Keeslar, who plays Steven Rimbauer. Sir, thank you so much for joining me today. How the hell are you
Of
doing?
course. Good, good, man. How are you? It's a
This is
beautiful day. It's Friday. This is perfect.
it is. It's starting to rain here, which really sucks, but my body's starting to feel it. So
Where are you located?
I am in New Jersey, on the southern part of New Jersey,
Okay.
right across the river from Philadelphia. So when it rains, my arthritis acts up, and I hate it.
Got it. Yeah, it's been
So
rainy here, but we've gotten some really nice days recently. So this has been good. This is a perfect day.
I'm gonna say that I envy you because right now the weather's getting crappier here every day. You know, it's April showers bring May flowers, but you know how it is. It rains during springtime.
Sure.
So I have tons of questions about this movie because I'm going to brag a little bit. I've actually been to the location of the house where it was
Okay,
filmed.
cool.
So what I found out was being filmed in Lakewood, New Jersey, or not New Jersey, Lakewood, Washington. I was living in Tacoma at the time, so it was like, well, that's about 30 minutes from where I live. And I was like, I need to go visit the film location because that's what I do. It's a hobby of mine. And when I get there, I noticed that the gate is closed. I'm like, oh shit, what am I gonna do? So and I noticed that it was by invitation only, or you need like a key to get inside the gate. So I sat across the street in the parking lot. I waited for someone to come out the gate, and that's when I drove in. so,
You
so,
snuck in.
um, I get there. I guess the host, what they're doing, they're preparing for a wedding. So I was able to go inside the big front door, the big wooden door into the main floor, and look at where everything was filmed. It was so cool. It was like so surreal, even to me, even though I was not in the movie. But it was just a great thing to see because it's such a big property. I didn't know it was like an active B&B and hotel at the same time. So
Yeah.
it's phenomenal. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now because I'm nervous. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's totally fine.
So
Yeah, it,
your
it, it
character,
was a pretty amazing place, gotta say.
yeah, and the movie is phenomenal. I love the how I had to put the backdrop where it made it look like it was being like filmed in Seattle, but it was never filmed in Seattle. It was like filmed in Lakewood the entire time.
Right.
So which fooled a lot of people. I know a lot of people like I can't find a house anywhere. It's like, dude, it's in Lakewood, not Seattle. Trust me. Anyway, your character, Steven Rimbauer. By the way, I want to say you delivered your character perfectly and flawlessly. And
Oh,
like, I mean,
thanks.
you were given the role, and Jesus Christ, dude, they couldn't pick anyone better to play this role. So essentially, in the script, your character is the last descendant of the Rimbauer family and the one who inherits the infamous Rose Red Mansion.
Mhm.
So, what was it like to play a character with such a dark and complicated family history?
Well, it's funny. I think that like a lot of horror movies, it kind of it goes beyond just being a scary movie. It's a little bit of an analysis of the Rimbauer family and the kind of curse that's followed them. In the context of this particular house. So just like The Shining is kind of a movie about domestic abuse in a way, and Heredity is like about sort of like family trauma that gets passed on. Similarly, like Rose Red, the house kind of symbolizes the tragedy of the Rimbauer family that's been passed on through generations. So I think that it's an interesting thing that, and the fact that, and I think I even say it at one point, like the house eats my family, like basically the house is sort of symbolic of the Rimbauer, like sort of this very tortured past of the Rimbauer family. So I think it's interesting. It's a you know you're kind of playing a descendant of trauma or a traumatic past.
No pressure. I mean,
Yeah.
oh my goodness. I can't imagine being stuck in that position. Say, oh, by the way, this mansion belonged to your family and now it's cursed. I mean, now it's cursed you. Essentially, you're screwed in the end. So no
Yeah.
matter no matter how you look at it. So,
Yeah, true, true. But it was, but it's funny because it's interesting that you went to that mansion. They built all of the, so we did a lot of the interiors where you can look out into the garden in the actual mansion, and then of course we did all the stuff that was exterior. Um, and then we rebuilt a lot of the weird rooms and things in a studio that was in Seattle. So um, you really got a feel for it when we were filming in Tacoma, when we were like sort of staying in Tacoma and going to Lakewood. You got a feel for like the gravity of the house when you actually were in the real location. It definitely felt like it was a more than just a set, because it is a pretty amazing house and pretty amazing property.
it is. I mean, it's beautiful architect. I mean, I'm not into architecture, but it's. I love visiting old locations like that. It's really cool to see, and especially how me being a huge fanboy, it was like it's like stepping on holy ground for me, pretty much. So
Yeah, it's pretty incredible place. So we split our time between shooting in Seattle at the sound studio that they had built specifically for this movie, and then you know every other week or so we would be out in Tacoma staying in a hotel there, and that's where we would do all the stuff at the actual mansion.
that's awesome, and that's super cool. Just knowing that it's like priceless information. I love it. It's brilliant. Um, so what we do witness in the film is how your character Steven initially seems to have a romantic relationship with Dr. Joyce Reardon,
Right.
which is totally fine. I mean, we all know that poor Steven got used in this movie, and it sucks.
True. True.
That
Yeah.
goes without saying. Um, but it becomes clear that she maybe not it's just to gain access to the house, which I think is really messed up, man. I was really mad at her for doing that to you. I mean, to not to you, but your character. Um, how did you interpret their relationship as a whole?
Well, it's funny because so in the beginning, Steven does not, he thinks that this is like more like a Mrs. Robinson type of situation, like this is slightly older, professor, and getting to like I thought of it more as kind of like like a romantic thing, and definitely was playing that more in the beginning of the movie. But it's funny because from the very beginning, Nancy Travis was very she knew what her objective was the entire time. So you could feel like a bit of that, a little standoffishness when you were doing scenes with her, like she was not going to get too close. So it was kind of funny because I even got that kind of unsettling feeling just playing those early scenes with her, even though I didn't know what her ultimate objective was or goal was. So, but yeah, I interpreted it as just straightforward. Steve is, in love with this woman and interested in the fact that she's, a professor and that she's older and that she's got, kind of has a whole, thing going on that he didn't really get, growing up. And so like having her as a kind of a little bit of a mother figure or something like that, but also, as a romantic interest, I think that he was very into the relationship from the beginning. So it becomes even more of a betrayal as the the plot thickens, so to speak.
So did you see that as genuine affection, manipulation, or a little bit of both?
Well, I think that from my side it was affection, but from her side definitely more of the manipulation part.
Poor Steven.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So we see how throughout the whole miniseries that your character has repressed memories of a childhood visit to Rose Red where he encountered the ghost of his great grandmother Ellen.
Mhm.
So how did you approach playing a character who is slowly uncovering the traumatic past?
Well, right, like I said, like that's kind of the point of the movie is like kind of delving into your the trauma uh, of the family. So I think that it's a. I mean, I don't want to get too like theoretical about it, but it did seem like it was definitely from Steven's point of view, at least, a deep dive into his own past trauma. So I think that as he has probably in some ways more of a character arc, than some of the other characters. I mean, everyone has a character arc, but Steven has like kind of definitely he's uncovering a lot about his past as he goes through and learns more about his the or uncovers the trauma from his childhood.
So, I mean, it's so you're the arc of Steven. How would you describe his arc? It was good, bad, evil.
Yeah, I think it's like a sort of an innocence to experience a little bit, like a kind of a in a weird way, kind of a coming of age. Like he's kind of. I think that if anyone has ever gone through therapy, like they've had those opportunities where they went from like uh, kind of thinking everything was okay in their past to kind of re-examining things and saying, "Oh yeah, well that was a little messed up." And Stephen just in a much more extreme way than that.
A little messed up. I like it.
Yeah.
So, oh my goodness. So your character develops a unique telepathic connection with Annie Wheaton, which I think is really cool. I like how they implemented that and they put it in the script. And she's a very powerful psychic for her age. I mean, often I would people might interpret that as scary as hell. So can you talk about building that on-screen bond with Kimberly and how the relationship becomes central in the story's resolution?
Yeah, I think that Kimberly and I, so she's quite a bit younger, and in the Kimberly's quite a bit younger, and I think that in the movie, the where we really sort of connected, I think the strongest was when we had to work on like a dance number together, and so we did this kind of complicated choreography to an old swing tune, and I think it was during that we kind of felt that kind of sort of more like brother sister bond as we were going through the that learning that choreography for that because we had to spend a lot of time doing that together. So
Well, I'm glad you're able to choreograph because I have no rhythm whatsoever when it comes to dancing. I would have messed it up several times.
well, it's just a little practice. That's all. That's all.
Hand-eye coordination, feet coordination, I would triple over myself. So my wife asked me to go dance. Like, nope, I'm good. I'm just gonna plant my butt here. You go dance, honey. Go ahead. So, so as we see this story unfolding, it's about building tension and sense of dread over the three parts. And I guess that's what Stephen King had in mind when he wrote the story. Um, how did that affect your performance and the way you built your character's journey?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the again, well, it was a weird, uh, like the production was a little bit odd. Like, although we, obviously we filmed it out of order, but there was a kind of an odd sense of dread as we were continuing filming. Like David Dukes died like in the middle of filming it. Judy Ivy had a friend who died in the middle of shooting. I'm not saying it was cursed or anything, but it was a very odd. We were there for like months, so it was a very odd thing as we were continuing through it. So it did just seem to get darker and darker and darker as we kept filming, and we were and almost literally so, because I think that we started, if I remember correctly, I think we started like in uh, October or early November, and we were there for like 3 or months or something like that. And in Seattle, the days get shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter, and so you get to the point where it was like after Christmas time, and like the days are, you just get a couple of hours of light, during the day. So you really got that feeling of like a long day's journey into night a little bit during the filming. And so I think that for us, like, it was about kind of like this like a like kind of like heading into a dark tunnel a little bit, the whole filming experience of it.
Would you describe him as a passive observer to a central figure in the fight against the house?
Yeah, well, I mean, is he passive? Yeah, I guess that's true. I think that I think that he is a bit of a victim. I mean, Steven is a bit of a victim, rather than someone who's like actively trying to fight against the house necessarily. But um, again, it's like for Steven, I think it's more of a discovery than it is for the other characters who are hired sort of specifically for their talents, in the party. So I think for him it's more about like discovery of his past.
Exactly. That's how I saw it too. I watched the movie, even though I watched the movie about 500 times. It's just, it's such a good movie. It's one of those, it's like, it's on my continuous watch list. So,
Wow, that's
because
amazing.
it was done so well. I mean, you got the atmosphere, the sets, the actors, everybody in the movie did such a good job. I mean, like people always ask me, what is your favorite Stephen King film? And it's a toss up between Rose Red and Cujo. So I mean, it's like neck and neck, and like I said, it's
Oh
my
man, I
constant
love
watch
Cujo. That's a
list.
great
So
movie. I gotta say, Cujo, that scared the hell out of me as a kid. That was a tense movie.
it is. I mean, Dee Wallace, when I spoke to her about her role, man, she said there was just times where she had to decompress because the stuff they put her through. It's
Oh
just
yeah, yeah,
so
totally, man. God, I remember her like on the top of the roof of the car, like that. I don't know how many days they must have filmed that, but man, that was crazy. Um, yeah, so this was a definitely a different scale or time scale than like Cujo, for example. But it is an interesting, like I said, like with all of Stephen King's stuff, like he has it's like a lot of it focuses on like past traumas. Like It, for example, has a lot of childhood trauma that's kind of getting dredged up, and the darkness in Derry, Maine, or whatever. Like you can see, like he has an idea about how this evil or darkness kind of creeps into people's lives. So it's fascinating. But yeah, I thought it was interesting. I don't know that he. I mean, I guess The Shining was a horror, a haunted building movie, but a haunted house movie. This was kind of a interesting take for Stephen King, I think.
definitely a change of pace from what you normally see from Stephen King's world. And it's a classic, like I said, it's a classic haunted house story, but with a large ensemble cast. And
Yeah.
that's nothing I love about this movie. I mean, I have to ask, what was the atmosphere like on set, especially during like the more intense and frightening sequences?
Oh well, I mean, I just loved all those actors. They were so great. Julian Sans, Judith Ivey, um, my buddy Matt Ross, Melanie Linsky. Like these are all great actors. So like it was cool to be on set with them, and everyone had like a good play. Like every character had their own point of view of sort of what they were discovering and what their reason for being there was. So that was kind of a cool thing to have an ensemble like that. And so every character kind of reacts differently to each scary thing that happens, and from their own character point of view, which was kind of cool, and their own core values, their own character core values.
So if you were to choose your favorite death scene, what would it be? Which one was it?
Oh man, I don't know, what was yours?
The gardens,
Yeah, yeah, I think.
which inspired me not to have one. It's my
Yeah,
backyard.
yeah. I don't know, man. Like, yeah, I don't know. They were all of them were pretty gnarly. The Gardens was good though, and yeah, like I said, like it was a crazy cast too. So I mean, and weird stuff happening on the set all the time. So it was very strange. They had to have somebody like after David died, like they had somebody like in a David mask, playing him. Like it was just crazy. It was really weird.
That's a bit creepy.
Yeah, yeah, it was very creepy. It was very creepy. Like the whole thing, I mean, like was so bizarre. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure which my favorite was, but I would say the Gardens would be right up there.
Yeah, and my wife wanted to have a garden in the backyard. I was like, not happening. We're not gonna have a greenhouse. We're not growing a garden. If we're growing a garden, it's gonna be herbs. That's about it.
Yeah, right, right.
So we all know that Stephen King has been labeled the master of horror, and Rose Red is one of his many iconic movies, and especially being a miniseries, which I think is really cool. So, what was it like to be a part of Stephen King's production, and did you have any interaction with him during the filming?
Well, yeah, I mean, he plays. So he was on set, giving notes. So I can't remember the exact timeline, but I think that he had gotten into like a motorcycle accident or something, and he was still kind of recovering at that point. So while he was writing the script, so it wasn't until probably midway through the shoot that started coming to set, and of course he does play the pizza guy in the movie. Um, but he's a super nice guy, really fun to work with, like not creepy at all, just normal, and obviously he's very he takes his work very seriously, and he's extremely prolific. Like the guy writes continuously. So like if you get a rewrite, you would get like 15 pages of rewrites, like not just
Holy
like
shit.
like he just cranks it out, man. I don't know how he does it. But but yeah, he was a very nice guy, and I know like there with Craig, like Craig had him, they went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth about different rewrites as they were doing it. So we would get a lot of changes as we were going, and I mean, I think that the cool thing about being a part of the Stephen King sort of like universe or legacy or whatever, is that it has its own, as you can sort of testify, it has its own built-in audience. Like people are just going to want to see it because it is a Stephen King show. So that is a pretty cool thing. Like you're going to get somebody's going to watch it.
I think just standing in the same room, breathing the same air is is
Pretty cool. Yeah, pretty cool.
it's pretty amazing. I mean,
Yeah,
even have your name in the same credit roll as Stephen King is pretty cool. I mean,
very
I
cool.
mean, give yourself a high five for that one. I mean, it's
Yeah,
like
totally,
I think it's
totally.
every actor's dream to have their name in the same credit roll as Stephen King. So,
Yeah, totally.
so looking back, what is your favorite memory from working on Rose Red?
have a lot. I really liked doing the dance sequence with Kimberly. I really liked working with Melanie Linsky. She's such a good actor, and she's very fun to work with. I thought working with Emily Deschanel was great. It was very cool. I remember the very first day that I got to set. Matt Ross was there filming, and and I didn't even know he was doing the movie. So like suddenly I think I looked on the call sheet and I was like, oh my God, Matt's in this. So I went in and watched one of his scenes, and I remember that very well, like because we went to Juilliard together, and then we did Last Days of Disco together. So it was very cool to be sort of reunited with him. So I remember that. That's probably one of my fondest memories. I'll tell you what I know what this wasn't actually filming, but it was offset. So Julian Sans,
Rest in peace.
yeah, rest in peace. He he was kind of a nut. I mean, like he's crazy. Like he would go on these crazy like adventure like extreme adventure sports trips. So he would like go to Antarctica, and he would like go backpacking in Kilimanjaro or something like crazy like that. And he was like, all right, so we're all gonna go mountain climbing. And I was like, we're gonna do what? He's like, we're gonna go mountain climbing. I know this the Cascade Mountains. We're gonna go climbing the mountains. And I was like, okay. And so he arranged this whole thing for Emily Deschanel, me, and him. I think that we were the only three who went. And we went climbing on a mountain. I had to like go and buy like the right like boots and stuff like that. We climbed to the top of this mountain in the Cascades in Washington. And then when he got up to the top of the mountain, he was like, all right, now that we're all up here, we're going to do yoga together. And he let us all in like a yoga class on top of the mountain together. And it was pretty cool. Like I remember that it was a pretty incredible memory. The one and only time I've ever been mountain climbing. So that's pretty
That's
fun.
cool. You did yoga with Julian Sands. I mean,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah, it was pretty cool.
On top of a mountain of all places. As far as
Yeah,
no goats involved.
yeah, I know it was crazy, man. So that was pretty great. And um, I offset. I just remember like I don't know, like going to there was a vegan cafe that Emily Deschanel and I would go to get breakfast, and like there were like all these other cool like just like cast bonding, Emily and oh, Emily and Matt and um, Melanie and I'm trying to think of someone else. We were all sort of similar age. And so I had everybody come over and watch when my episodes of Dune came out. So everybody came over to my apartment that I was staying in, and we all watched Dune together. Yeah, I mean it was a cool experience because like you were in Seattle, so you were like right below. I was like literally living right below the Pike's Market, and so every day I would walk up to the top of Pike's Market and get coffee and walk back down again. It was pretty great.
That's super. That place gets busy as hell during the summertime. So,
Well, luckily this was
um,
winter, man. We were there in the winter. It was dark.
yeah. So a few questions left because we're running out of time.
Mhm.
Is what do you think makes this story still resonate with the audiences today?
Well, I think just like I was saying before, like it's you know, well, first of all, it is kind of a period piece. So it kind of has it's kind of out of time in a weird way. Like even though obviously it was filmed in 2000s, but so much of it takes place in the past and it all is kind of taking place with, in a haunted mansion, not a lot of like modern technology stuff. We're all carrying flashlights and like it's a kind of out of time in a way. So in a way that kind of makes it, I think, more timeless. I think also the fact that it's like I said before, like sort of kind of a classic horror setup, the with the haunted house and the group of psychics and discoverers who go there. I think is kind of a makes it kind of a classic haunted house movie.
Which is still good to this day. If you don't like it, kiss my ass, people. Just watch the movie and be over. So,
There you go.
if you don't like it, kick rocks, dude. Just saying. Um, so before we get off, very last question. What's next for you? Anything exciting coming up you want to share with the audience that you think is gonna be exciting coming up anytime soon?
I do long form improvisation at Curious Comedy. So if you're around in the Portland area, come and see our show. We're called Dad Vice. We're playing April 5th at Curious Comedy Theater in Portland, Oregon.
Okay, check it out, people. If you're in the area, I've been to Portland. That's a pretty nice area. Um, I've also been to the place where the Goon was filmed too. I can't remember the name of the place at all, but the Goon was filmed in Oregon also.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. So that I actually go there a lot. That's a pretty great area on the coast.
Astoria. Now they hit me.
Astoria.
Astoria, Oregon. That's awesome place. That's all the questions I have. Thank you so much for joining me today. Huge honor to sit down and talk to you about your character, Steven Rimbauer. The movie is still going. It's still got traction, in my opinion, to this day.
All
Like I
right,
said,
great,
it's still on my rewatch. It's still on my watch list every once in a while. Anyway,
cool.
again,
Thanks,
thank you so
Ben.
much. No, thank you, Matt, and I wish you the best success in your career and your future. And I'll definitely see you on the big screen when I watch the movie again.
Cool. Thanks, Ben. Take care, man.
All right, take care.
Mother, tell your children not to walk my way. Tell your children not to hear my words, what they mean, what they say. Mother.